Welcome back to Dolphin Motor Speedway, and today we're going to talk about how we made the lighting for our track. We had said we would show you our Mario Land, so we wanted to start with that. We've kind of created a little theme park in the middle of the track called Mario Land, and then as we scan through, I'll let you see the lighting that we've created, because when we were building our track, we couldn't find a lot of ways, instructions, different people's ideas of building lighting for their slot car tracks other than buying expensive ones online. So we came up with an idea of building our lighting and using lighting in different ways. As you can see in the helicopter pad, we have some little lights at the corners of the pad. We have little lights in the buildings, like the pit building has a light in it. The emergency building has a light in it, as you can see. And then over by the campsite, we have a fire. And if you watch the fire, it actually flickers and changes colors in it. So today we were going to talk some more about how we built our track lighting for our 30-second scale track. So I'm going to give the camera here to Logan, and I'm going to show you some of our parts. Here you go, Logan. If you hold the camera. Okay. So we started out with this idea of using what's called NeoPixels for the lights. And NeoPixels are little LEDs, and we ordered them from Amazon. They come in like a pack of 100 for like $20. And they actually have like a little circuit board on the back of them. So they're LED bulbs. They're RGBWs. So you can set them up to have pure white light, or you can have multicolor lights like we do on the helipad and the campsite. And then on the back of them, they have like a little circuit board. Can you see that, Logan? There's like a little circuit board where you can solder.
I can't get it out. It's too small.
Okay, that's okay. You get close. You can see where there's a little circuit board where you can solder the wires, and I'll explain that in a minute. So our structure is a piece of, we use a piece of A6 material. It's like what people use on the outside of houses sometimes that isn't wood. You could use a piece of wood or whatever, and it's like 3/4 by 3/4 by 3/4. And we found some little one inch little brads, silver brads with a head on them to kind of look like the bolts that would nail through. And so we actually have, our track is a 1/2 inch plywood that it's all sitting on, so we can tack these right onto the plywood. And then we bought some aluminum tubing, which is a 1/4 inch aluminum tubing, and we made the tubing about 9 inches tall, and then drilled a 1/4 inch hole through the A6 for it to fit into. So that's our lamp post. And then the top of the lamp post, this is actually, I drew it up in AutoCAD, and it's we had them 3D printed. They're just little plastic housings that we designed. They're like 3/4 by 3/4 by 1/2 inch. And we have, if you can see the tube, we bent just a little bit with a tube bender just to give a little more realistic look. And we actually had these 3D printed at our local library. You could go there and know they had a printer, and you can do it for free. So I just took the file, and we can send you anybody the file if they'd like to get it. And then, so it didn't cost us anything to have these printed, and they printed so it would fit right over the 1/4 inch tubing. So that's actually the actual lamp post, what it looks like when it's nailed onto the track, as you can see right over here, how we have them sitting. And as far as the lighting goes, the actual wiring, I used some 22 gauge wire to connect to the NeoPixel. And the NeoPixel, you can wire them different ways. There's six joints or 6 nodules on the NeoPixel. One hot coming in, one power, if you will, coming in, one power going out, one ground coming in, one ground going out, and then what's called a data line in and a data line out. Now I only use the power in and the ground in, and then the data in and the data out, because we would just daisy chain our hot wire underneath the track, so I didn't have to keep running the wires. That way I only needed 4 wires in this 1/4 inch tube, as you can see. So once you get those all soldered, and we had a pretty nice little soldering gun there. We got that on Amazon for like $40, and it worked great. And so they're a lot easier to solder than it looks right there. So once you get them soldered, and then you just pull these in so that the light's just sitting inside there. We actually had designed it to put a clear lens over it, but we realized we didn't really need it, and you could hopefully tell in the video how much light they put out. They're plenty bright. So at that point, we would drill a hole into our board so that the wire could go through, and then we would tack these in. And then what powers it is what's called an Arduino. They're similar to a BlackBerry Pi. They're really inexpensive. They're easy to use. This is just an example of this. This is the actual Arduino, and they're about $20. And they are programmed through what's called CBasic. And actually it's a freeware, so you can find all kinds of data. I don't really understand CBasic, and I don't understand the computer, but I was able to find programs that online to put it into the software program and tell it what to do. And so it's really easy to just, in a few minutes of reading online, you can figure out how to do it. But anyway, this powers it. And there's a plug in it where you can plug it in with a 12-volt transformer, a small one, and then it'll tell you how to connect it as far as how to connect it to the lights to make it work. You need a data, but in reality, just to simplify it for me, is basically each light has a number. Like this, say this is light 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around. Each one is identified as a single light, and you can tell each light what to do. So each light can be different. One might be white, one might be red, one might be red blinky. Each one you can identify as you run through the program. And so as you power them up, once you get the program in the Arduino and connect it to the hotline, to the power line, and then the daisies change through them all, then you can control your lights. We actually have a little remote control that we can turn our lights on and off with, and so it's just kind of fun for us. And you can see them come on there, and then just to push the button again, and here they all come back on. So that's kind of how we did our lights. Let's see, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to share. But these are NeoPixels. They're RGBWs that we got online from Amazon. A pack of 100 is like $20 for 100 of them. A lot of soldering. And then I bought the wire. Again, this 22 gauge wire that we got from Amazon as well. And if you get different colors, as you can see I did, it's easier to keep track of which wire goes to what when you're trying to wire it underneath. And then the 1/4-inch tubing, it's just metal tubing we got at our hobby store up near where we live in Louisville. That's what's the name of our hobby store, Logan?
It's called the Hobby Shop.
The Hobby Shop, yeah, okay.
You can also buy some really good cars there.
Yeah, we get our cars there and things. So that's the gist of how we made our lighting, and I hope that helps you in doing yours. And we actually find that we like racing at night as much or more than we do in the daytime, because especially with so many of the cars having lights on them themselves, it just adds a neat dimension to the race as you play. So I hope that's helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. Send us a comment
down below.
Yep, comment down below, and if you we can send you the drawing that'll help you if you want to print these little tops out. So that's it. Anything you want to add, Logan? Logan's shaking his head no. So hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon. We'll share something else about how we did on our track. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.
And we'll see you in the next one.